ALFRED F. Gotetol, Appts v. United States Supreme Court 224 U.S. 458 32S.CT 544 56L.ed 841 ALFRED F. Gotetol, Appts v. United States Number 405 Argued October the 12th and 13th, 1911 Decided April 29th, 1912 Messrs. J. C. Stone, Robert J. Boone, S. T. Bledsoe, George C. Crump, H. H. Rogers, J. H. Moxie, J. H. Miley, and B. B. Blakeney for appellants. Solicitor General Learman and Messrs. A. N. Frost and Harlow A. Leakley, Special Assistants to the Attorney General for appellee. Mr. Justice Hughes delivered the opinion of the court. 1. The question presented by this appeal is with respect to the right of Seminole freedmen to convey the lands allotted to them in severalty pursuant to the Act of July 1, 1898, Chapter 542, 30 Statute 567. The United States sued to cancel conveyances alleged to have been made contrary to the statute. Demurrer to the bill was sustained by the Circuit Court, and its judgment was reversed by the Circuit Court of Appeals. United States v. Allen and similar cases, 103C, C.A. 1, 179 Federation 13. So far as the demurrer contested the capacity of the United States to bring a suit of this character, the case stands upon the same footing, in all material respects, as that of Heckman v. United States, decided April 1, 1912, 224 U.S. 413, 56L, ed. 32 sub. CT Representative 424, and the right of the United States to enforce such restrictions as may have been imposed upon the alienation of the allotted lands is no longer open to dispute. 2. The inquiry must be, what are the restrictions in the case of allotments to Seminole freedmen, and have they been violated? 3. As to each of the tracts of land in question, it was alleged. 4. And your orator further shows that each of the tracts of land hereinafter, in paragraph numbered 6, described, is situated in the Eastern District of Oklahoma, and was, at the time of the transactions of sale or encumbrance mentioned in that paragraph, allotted lands of the members of the Seminole tribe of Indians, allotted to freedman members of said tribe, and none were lands which had been patented to individuals at the time of the transactions in question, that they were not lands of heirs of allottees, that all contracts for the sale, disposition of any of said allotments prior to the date of patent, were expressly declared by law to be void, that this law applied to all allotments of Seminole lands not inherited from allottees, that accordingly, defendants had knowledge and were, by said law, put upon inquiry and notice as to the inalienability of said unpatented lands, and had notice accordingly that the particular tracts had not been patented, any such patenting being a matter of public record and of public action, that, moreover, the unpatented condition of said allotted lands was notorious and of common knowledge, since none of the Seminole allotted lands have been patented, and that other public laws of Congress and public agreements imposed further restrictions upon the transfer and encumbrance of the particular lands herein, in paragraph 6, described, belonging to the particular class of tribal members herein mentioned, in addition to those arising from the absence of patenting, and these restrictions were known, notified, and notorious in like manner. 5. While it appears that a large number of conveyances are involved in the suit, only 2 are specifically described in the printed record on this appeal, the descriptions of the others, as set forth in the bill, having been omitted by stipulation. In the 2 cases particularly mentioned, the conveyances were made in August 1906 and March 1907. It is not stated whether the lands embraced therein were homestead or so-called surplus lands, but it is conceded in argument that they were of the latter class. The government says in its brief, in the printed record it happens that the transactions set out include only lands allotted other than homestead, but other transactions complained of in the bill, omitted from the printed record for the sake of brevity, include lands allotted as homesteads as well. The broad ground is taken by the government that all conveyances of the lands allotted to members of the Seminole tribe are void, because made prior to the date of patent. 6. By the Treaty of 1832, 7 Stat at L. 368, the Seminoles relinquished to the United States their claim to the lands then occupied in the territory of Florida, and agreed to emigrate to the lands assigned to the Creeks, west of the Mississippi, it being understood that an additional extent of territory proportioned to their numbers should be added to the Creek country, and that they should be received as a constituent part of the Creek Nation. Provision to this effect was made in the Creek Treaty of 1833, 7 Stat at L. 417, 419, which was satisfactory to the Seminoles, and territory was assigned to them accordingly. 7 Stat at L. 423. There were further agreements in 1845, 9 Stat at L. 821, and in 1856, 11 Stat at L. 699. In 1866, 14 Stat at L. 755, lands which had been ceded to the Seminoles by the Creeks were conveyed to the United States at a stipulated price, and the United States, having obtained from the Creeks the westerly half of their lands, granted to the Seminoles a tract of 200,000 acres, which was to constitute the national domain of the latter. Subsequently, the United States purchased for the Seminoles another tract, on the east, consisting of 175,000 acres. Acts of March 3, 1873, 17 Stat at L. 626, Chapter 322, August 5, 1882, 22 Stat at L. 265, Chapter 390. It was provided in the Treaty of 1866, inasmuch as there were among the Seminoles many persons of African descent and blood, who have no interest or property in the soil and no recognized civil rights, that these persons and their descendants, and such other of the same race as shall be permitted by said nation to settle there, shall have and enjoy all the rights of native citizens, and the laws of said nation shall be equally binding upon all persons of whatever race or color who may be adopted as citizens or members of said tribe. 7. Pursuant to the policy of allotting tribal lands among the individual members of the 5 civilized tribes, Act of March 3, 1893, Chapter 209, 27 Stat at L. 645, an agreement was made by the Dawes Commission with the Seminoles on December 16, 1897, which was ratified by the Act of July 1, 1898. This agreement provided 30 Stat at L. 567, Chapter 542. 8. All lands belonging to the Seminole tribe of Indians shall be divided into 3 classes, designated as first, second, and third class. The first class to be appraised at $5, the second class at $2.50, and the third class at $1.25 per acre. And the same shall be divided among the members of the tribe, so that each shall have an equal share thereof in value, so far as may be, the location and fertility of the soil considered, giving to each the right to select his allotment so as to include any improvements thereon, owned by him at the time, and each allottee shall have the sole right of occupancy of the land so allotted to him, during the existence of the present tribal government, and until the members of said tribe shall have become citizens of the United States. Such allotment shall be made under the direction and supervision of the Commission to the 5 civilized tribes, in connection with a representative appointed by the tribal government, and the chairman of said commission shall execute and deliver to each allottee a certificate describing therein the land allotted to him. 9. All contracts for sale, disposition, or encumbrance of any part of any allotment made prior to date of patent shall be void. 10. Leases by allottees were permitted upon certain conditions. 11. The deeds of the allotted lands were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, and each allottee was to designate 40 acres which, by the terms of the deed, should be inalienable and non-taxable as a homestead in perpetuity. The provision on this subject was as follows. 12. When the tribal government shall cease to exist, the principal chief last elected by said tribe shall execute, under his hand and the seal of the nation, and deliver to each allottee a deed conveying to him all the right, title, and interest of the said nation and the members thereof in and to the lands so allotted to him. And when the tribal government 12. The deeds of the allotted lands were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, and each allottee was to designate 40 acres which, by the terms of the deed,
this are the sellout with the 40 acres and a mule. Who are these Seminole tribal freedmen? We have put a value or price on the land because we as original people, we not do them thing there. So it's always the foreigners who come in between us, come mingle with us, and present to the world as if they are us. And they are the ones where really make deal with these foreigners. And them kind of information where every Indian for know. Them kind of information where every Indian for add to their research when they talk about ancestry and claiming land. The very application where them present here are the same application them use everywhere else. These people, foreigners, are land pirates. This is why them come and rape, ravish our women and plant them foreign seed within our mix. All of these information what we show are subtle evidence. The story is right there. All people need to do is just pay attention. Stop being carried away by this commercial, endeavors. Make we know what go on first before we put our foot out there. Simply in a bit. Simple people. Basic. Just look. Just ask some basic question. Simple. Step by step, people. Step by step.
Should be inalienable. The deeds of the allotted lands were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, and each allottee was to designate 40 acres which, by the terms of the deed, should be inalienable and non-taxable as a homestead in perpetuity. The provision on this subject was as follows. 12. 12. 12. 11.
The deeds of the allotted lands were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, at the termination. So you see, before Babylon and the Union and the United States as a corporation, there we have what is called the tribal government. This is why I tell people that there was what is known as the great law of peace. Because man like I and I ancestors, they are a battle the foreign ones, them will come here with them religious concept. And it reach a point where them say, boy, them so enough, because when them push them out of Europe, around here, them come first before even Columbus come here. We have a 300-year war with some people who look just like us. And them have all kind of weaponry and things. We don't have those things. We just have a bow and arrow and certain things where we use with gold and with silver and with copper to make our, spearheads. Them money have all of the modern day weapon. And them things are going around here in the zone to them say them are the victor. So the documents that we have and show these things not there. Here them talk about the deed of the allotment allotted land were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, and each allottee was to designate 40 acres, I guess, with a mule, which by the terms of the deed should be inalienable and non-taxable as a homestead in perpetuity. So our people are come with this tax thing, this Babylonian Baal, them God El Roman mess from over there, so them foreign mess. This is what me are showing where Babylon there and all of the Babylonian institution around here. That's why my stance so unique. That's why I'm not stop burn them. Oh no man here now in this day and age can't talk about nothing with them own as inalienable and non-taxable as a homestead in perpetuity. These are the narrative we have to use within our documentations. None of the guru them not bring them thing here forward. Here I am. And that's how we use our information and construct our documents going forward. Because them thing here where I don't know, fantasy book, or whether upon them national public court record. It can't hide. It's just that some of the guru them ignore these things. Because it's not profiting. If you show the people them how to reclaim what was there first before these foreign pirates come here, then you might get expelled from your privileged society. That's why people like eyes here. Bold and brave, firm and strong. No compromise. We not bow nowhere and we not sell out nowhere. Yes, so we are draw our line and we not back down. We might move laterally. Yeah. But this is where we are make our stand. Yeah, verbally. Yeah, and we are use pen and paper same way. Yeah. While the warriors them we want the blood can prepare for that. But we there as pioneers for say, this is who we are. We are who them are called the Indians. Then them change it to colored, then them change it to Negro, then them change it to black. And it keeps changing and changing and changing. And my people now ask the question, why is that? I'm afraid for ask why is that? Why we allow some little foreign people with them foreign ideology and them foreign agenda to educate we, or even teach we, or even have the audacity to talk to we. Why we are allowed these things? Is it because we don't have our own voice? Well, here it is. Yeah, man. So the ones them have to choose. Enough is enough. It's a new era. It is a new faculty of thinking. We are Americans here first. Yeah, man. Let all imposters show themselves. What's your point of origin? What is your point of origin? What kind of land patent? Who are issued those patent for land in my area, in my hemisphere, in my domain? This is our dominion, I people. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them school you. Self-taught, autodidactic. Ask the questions. That's how you get on your quest. The questions where you ask place you on that quest, that journey. Don't let them fool you, man. irrespective, it's a free will exercise, because there's a maximum of law out there where these gurus and elite know. Where those who allow themselves to be fooled, let them be fooled. These guys know these things. So don't allow yourself to be fooled by this foreign misinformation trying to redirect you to some foreign land. We are non-Africans. We have no problem with over Babylon. Where them worship them God El and them Baal, them Moloch. All of that originate over there. It have nothing to do with us over here until dirty Babylon impose itself on us as a people. These are the subtle truths where the ones that now want to express. Because it interfere with them profit margin. Truth, we do that. Truth, we always do that. So here we are share some information. We are talk about the Seminole Indians, where we know say the Seminoles them are we. We are talk about in the Florida area. You know what I mean? We are talk about in the Louisiana area. We are talk about down south area. Before the Babylon foreign people them come and present them imaginary borders. So when you hear them say Seminole, no say them a talk about we as a people. When them say Geechee, no them a talk about we as a people. When them a say Indian, no them a talk about we as a people. Them reclassify you as nigger. Them reclassify you as colored. Them reclassify you as black people. And then them come with this black American and you're a descendant of African. How? By what standard? By the foreign colonial oppressive standard. By the bad side of the Freemasonic organization. Because there have to be a good side there. So we now got to just blow it all up. We're going to talk about the bad side and burn the side there. The ones them will have them immoral values. The one them will want to stay hidden and use buckle torch and flashlight. And those one we have burned to them core. The one we have the guise of truth. We're going to root them out. We have challenged them from them root. What's your point of origin? Serpent seed. Why are you so different in your nature from us as a pure being, as a noble people that has been spoiled, corrupt, and polluted by you, foreign oppressor, by you, foreign slave master, by you, old pirate. And them energy are out here. And them truth are out here. Pay attention, my people. It's a new era. And yes, so the new faculty of thinking is we are who bring that paradigm shift. Make you know you're non-African. You've always been the true Americans, First Nation people. But you have been spoiled. You have been polluted. You have been corrupted. Come back home now. Let truth reign, though the heavens may fall. Yeah, man. Stand up, I people, and let your voice be heard. I and I alone can't do it. Let's shake off these shackles. Let's remove these imaginary chains. And we alone can do that. And every man have to choose to make them stand. Not hide behind a paperwork. Not choose to hide behind a man. Again, don't try to live vicariously through I. The Christians choose to live vicariously through Jesus Christ. Yet the earth is still out of course. So we now contemplate these things. Or we now choose to calculate these things. Or we allow ourselves to be spoon-fed by some guys where we can't relate to, we can't resonate with. What's wrong with us as a people? Again, it is a new era. And this is our new faculty of thinking. We are non-Africans. We are the true Americans here. First nation, first people. What's wrong with us, I people? Why are we in this state? Salute Joel Jagwasi, Anna McKing, salute Nicholas Johnson, Shata Dan. Yes, my lord, Jagwasi, me have to bring it to these people so them can sit talking cheap. Talking cheap. It's a Babylon document here with Babylon information here. And what me I do is just scratch the surface to make my bright people them, come ravish this kind of information. Make our bright people them apply themselves and take them time and know, say, boy, what's this? How we miss these things? Or how we just ignore these things? Enough of the ignorance. Enough of it. Enough of the sissy game and the sissy entertainment. Enough of it. There's a time and a place for everything, but them spoil our people. And our people just dance them jig. Our people become the Mickey Mouse, the entertainment for Babylon and the Babylonians. Salute, Ameri-Indian. Salute. Why are we in this state? Why are we like this? And now nobody now plead our cause. Everybody talk about Africa, and the African over there need I. The African them need I for stand up. And we are ball a cry a look for to Africa when Africa need us to lead. Because we are the noble people, as spoiled as we are. That is our DNA. That is our deoxyribonucleic acid. We not come from no Babylon. My location have nothing to do with Babylon, but we have a whole lot of Babylonian in our location. And we need to identify them. And we can easily, by their actions or their inaction, by their omissions or their commission. So we are going to know them. Oh, mystery Babylon, you're no more a mystery. You're no more a mystery to us as a people. Dirty Babylon. You're no more a mystery to us. This is why we share our information this way. So the people can go look for themselves and not chattings. Show and prove. Here you see some United States are try block a man conveyance of property. And then we have to ask why the United States are choose to intervene. Because we not just attack what them are show we. We have to really dissect this thing. And say, who are these freed Seminole men? And if them can have land into perpetuity, why we can't? What changed? Who make them change that? How the mainland now defend this thing like that? How the mainland that them quick for come, shoot arrows at the island warrior them where always a stand up, always a put themselves out there. Pay attention, And we are the people who go everywhere go govern it, Pay attention. Them thing they in our DNA. Is when we fall from a thing and not deal with righteousness, that's when everything spoils. Is when we start look for just ourselves and not think about our belly, that's when the thing spoil. We have to give thanks for life. Truly, this is why I say respect to all ones and ones out there. I salute the divinity in the item. I salute the God in the item. I salute that life spark in the item. And I leave it there. When the item want violate them kind of order, then we have to know, sir, we always have a right to preserve this kind of existence. We always have the inherent right to protect this kind of existence. We always explicitly reserve the right to use any means necessary to preserve our existence as a people, as an American people. Yeah, man. With a whole plethora of different nations. We do tribal. Yeah, we are tribal. Yeah, we geechi. Yeah, man. We gully. Yeah, we gutter, my lord. When I see my people, irrespective of them condition, I say, when I say all the first morning, I make a ride out and I go up on a location and I see a little warrior where I know from a youth, but from I see the warrior, I know same head kind of chip. And I said to the general where they around there, I said, what go on, brethren, gone, you know, or what? And the general has shown me, say, boy, Jano, it's like him a get injection and you know that go. And so everybody start praying that way, them just stay in that state there. While they must show me a next example, say, yo, you know, say me such and such, you did stay that way there and get all a joke. And I remember I tell her, I said, don't treat him like him sick or nothing. Just deal with him the same way like a warrior, same way. And the youth, the balance and not going like that. So more time on the nurturing and the care and the treatment where we, entertain with each other. Because there was a time when community raise ones and ones. If all a one man violate the community, it's like the whole community shame. So anyone in the community can point out a one and say, yo, what that fix that, we don't want them. Nowadays you cannot do that. You can't do that because you always have the disagreeables become mixed with you. It's like me there in my Portmore location where it's a little, one of them small places there. And I man just take it up on myself, so I can't allow my place to look like out of Riverton City when it untidy. Put it that way. Because I'm not Riverton City people because them are high. But you have a set of way where no say boy, we have to practice proper hygiene. And we have to maintain these things. So I man we rise and follow suit because we have some elders in our community where them people are used to maintain the little area. Maintain it, but as time go by, these people get old. Enough ones move out and all these things. So I man 15 now and I say, boy, I make the effort there because I don't like look on the mess. I don't like say all the ones that pass through come here like at the office and the place is like a mess out there. So I man always a clean. long time. Pack up and but we have some disagreeable. The other day I see all at once pack. Them clean out them fancy house and all of the metal and concrete and the clown just go pile it up right behind my car. That's me I feel I take picture and make sure I document these things and clean up and go find bag and you know what I mean? And when I find out who it is and the location, I just go address the lady instantly and say, Madam, real quiet like and polite like and she has said, boy, the white bag there not mine, because I show her the image. And me I say, yes, ma'am, because you think them make a mess. You understand? I know it's not you personally, but the people where you employ. And you see when she tell me who she employed, shock me. Because me I say people really evil. Because a brethren, I see every day, me have to buck him. I never buck him till he must say yes to them about the brethren. And that's how I stay. I now have a itch and a scratch it. I have to say, brethren, let me tell you something. You see your little son, never disrespect me or violate. When he might grow, he might always heal and show respect. When him start mingle with some want to be bad boy and a give problem, he never violate, never read. And the only reason why I never give you the same respect. But you see when the garbage thing get behind my vehicle again, all when I know you know your judgment. You have to make that clear, because one thing we have to always do is give notice. You give warning, because you have some of our people that don't respect other people's property. Some of them have some little hidden sissy feelings, but they don't like you for whatever reason, so they will push your button. And you see people like them, and one way you can deal with them, one way, you remove them, so you don't have a problem to neither you nor nobody else. You understand? We have to show respect to ones and ones. We have to show respect to ones and ones. Property, we have to just know certain things when a man have to teach you them things. And when you have your corrupt, twisted crossways where you got somewhere with those kind of people, we have enough of that. It's a new era, a new time, a new faculty of thinking, a new behavior. We have to start somewhere. We don't have nobody to bring it this way. I man can't look to the Rasta. The Rasta them I look to I. Tell them no one tell them that you know much meat, no much chanting with some little ones. So me I said, John, no. I know nothing stuck in but you have to go back to the foundation with it. And when me hear my elder Jabi bring it forward, say watch your negotiation make. Because I know I research show I say Pinnacle was the location. Because Pinnacle was like a heaven. When the man them talk, when the ancient them, because at Bronx, New York, me there, and Bucka ancient, you'd have some bubble live down the road, but he'd have another little Congo where you used to pass through and link them, but him not bubble. You know what I mean? Him have a little shags, like when you're done cut off, but your elder now when you just let loose, and the elder just take on to I. Them time them, me I'm a teenage, just there foreign. And the man does, it's like the man does see an energy for me and knows me different. So the man always a reason with I. And they'll show I say, boy, you're from Pinnacle at Baka Wall and down there. So now the thing change, every man starts. So now me can look from a independent, observing perspective and say, yo, then this or the sellout go on. Because if every man did have a book after Babylon in the brethren, watch me now, the British Empire, Babylon, saying, mash up Pinnacle. Here say when you see Pinnacle, the food will grow up Pinnacle, the vegetable will grow up Pinnacle. Here say when the man them go to market for them things sell off, first people are wait for just the Pinnacle people. That means that them self-sustaining, them not need absolutely nothing. What them location name, Pinnacle, so them they're somewhere high up in the mountain. Them not trouble nobody. But yet still Babylon step in and destroy it for whatever reason when I get to the level yet. When I just listen to the surface information. When that mash up the man, them after they done a back of war. I remember when me a little boy I got town with my granny town, I never nothing pretty. All around a grass yard and them place there. And me used to have brethren where live, in a them place where I be a cool and them take the man then remember the bridging and his sledge at them place, so them you wonder want to that them warrior. No. And at this the Rasta them used to have to hold them harder. And then as my elder, according to my elder, because I don't want to be out of order. You understand? There was a negotiation between the government of Jamaica and Rasta. See? And would have called them the urban city Rasta. Difference. You have the rural country Rasta. They never go under that pressure. See? And the man them go up a Bobo Hill by way of permission of the government and the British people. This is why them can't claim sovereignty. Impossible. And I can assume they are the very same thing with the Maroon organization, not the people. Because I know the Maroon people, them is I and I. I know the Maroon people, them is I walk them. Just some man who can read and write better than the common ones and trick them. And I tell them all kind of things. I don't think not even Steve Curry can trace him ancestry to Spain. I can tell you that. The man they are Ahuuah. And them truth here, and when they say Ahuuah mean you're American, that means they say the taxes where you hear them say your property is non-taxable. So we are read it here, you know. Your property, you hold it in perpetuity. Some other people come trick with. So this information our people can, you know, just take a view, scrutinize, especially the mainlanders. We not fear fight each other. Babylon already a fight we, you know. Babylon already spoil we. You get me? We just need someone like I know for come and say, watch ya, question them thing, them man. Shine some light on them thing, them man. Let's see what all of these things are. We have too much bright people that is being misled. We have too much bright people. Too much people who are more competent than I. Is being misdirected. So I could say how we can, you know, redirect some of our people to the task at hand, which is reclaiming our birthright, or hereditament, or inheritance. You know, here it said non-taxable. I've never seen them term here. It said deeds of allotted land were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government. And each allottee was to designate 40 acres, which, by the terms of the deed, should be inalienable, meaning it cannot be separated from these people, and non-taxable, meaning the Federal Reserve banking system cannot impose a tax on these people nor their property. And as a homestead in perpetuity, perpetuity means forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So how we as a people lose them kind of narrative here? What happened? Who are the culprits? How would not look on all a document like this to scrutinize it, break it down, tear it apart, and question every single word where we are, you know, what we're curious about, every term, because this is a legal document. And these words we read are legalese. They are terms of art. Them have separate and distinct legal meaning, my people. This is how me have to bring it to you, know. You have to forgive me, you know, if it sound like me I go on like so, you can't read that right. And all of that. Some of my people, me have to deal with them with iron pipe. Me can't deal with them with no, here is some coffee. Them not comprehend that. Them not deal with that. Me have to lick a man in an hip. And when the next one see that broke and him lean and can't straighten up, the next one say, what was that? Now them a pay attention. This is how me have to deal with my people. Because my people are not easy people. Remember, I with it nobly, but you see when them spoil with, this is what I get. When we allow foreigners to spoil us, this is what get people. But make we find our way home, because we have always been home in the people. We don't need the illusion of leaving here for go to some foreign place and mess with those people, Yeah, man. Let's reclaim our home land. This is our ancestral homeland. This is who we are as a people. I'm on no pressure Rastafari organization. I'm on shine light and truth. See, I pure blood. When I look for my daddy, is I pure blood. When I look for my mommy, is I pure blood. And the messaging nation, I know about it. I'm not allowing a foreign man to trick I. No foreign man can't come from the foreign land and tell I nothing about I land and about who I am. Nothing. Foreign man must tell them about for themselves. What part of the world you come from? What part of God you are serve around there? So where you bring that go? Foreign man. This is why we have to make some correction. Remember, it's a new era. No faculty of thinking. We're non-Africans. We are the true Americans here. Let the imposters reveal themselves. And them truth are my people. What kind of pagan worship? What kind of pagan holiday? Lightning. What you say? Fire. However, it's the unification of the family structure. Make we celebrate that. Make we highlight and enhance that. But we don't need to make Babylon create this kind of pagan worship for we come together as our family structure. We don't need Babylon to set up these things. Where Babylon can only bridge our current. That's what Babylon is in place for him. To mislead with. To give with for them El God. And give them all of them, our angel, them with them up in them firmament and say, these are angels, very same aliens. But these aliens cannot go beyond the firmament. But when we say, to the most high of nature, I creator, it go beyond the Anunnaki. Because the Anunnaki have created beings, my people. So don't be misled. There's levels to this thing. They never expect irony, I know. The most high does preserve I, man, and say, go and build it up, because them clown there out, they don't know what them are said. The Anunnaki, who are aliens, are created beings. How who create them? For them create you. Yeah, I not created by no Anunnaki. I not come from the Anunnaki bloodline. That's why I go on, so. Yeah, I spirit are from some ancient but the ones them don't know about. And just a catch up, my people. I love it. But there's too much distractions there. Yeah, man, the ancestral energy out there is too pervasive because my people want material things and I know so them already possess it. But Babylon a give to our phone own already. You already own these things on into perpetuity. Not just have to look on the information that was before Babylon create this illusion with them 1933 contraption. We have to look in at my people. However, you don't know me, it's a man more time I get away. So the document speak for itself, fire.
The deeds of the allotted lands were to be executed at the termination of the tribal government, and each allottee was to designate 40 acres which, by the terms of the deed, should be inalienable and non-taxable as a homestead in perpetuity. The provision on this subject was as follows. 12. When the tribal government shall cease to exist, the principal chief last elected by said tribe shall execute, under his hand and the seal of the nation, and deliver to each allottee a deed conveying to him all the right, title, and interest of the said nation and the members thereof in and to the lands so allotted to him, and the Secretary of the Interior shall approve such deed, and the same shall then
Salute. AhuuahkhIndianNation. Yeah, man. So, I want to see when me I do my thing from a standpoint of anciency. Remember, me come out and telling about establishing a house and, manifesting a seal by establishing a house. That's the house seal we now put out there on the public record to say, here we are. You understand, our estate is now here, established. And it go for all of your bloodline. This is why I could have talked about the Mississippi. You understand? Because my bloodline rampant around at them location there. To each his own still in the people. We just there for shine light on information. We're not there for upstirring about the apple cart. We don't know Christ around here. You know what I mean? We just let truth reign. Yeah, man. So, make way, boy, me I tell you. Yeah, the man them say under his hand and is the seal of his nation. You understand? So you see, even when I as a one man I say it, the ones them have to choose to make them step and come together and manifest it. It's a free will exercise, but I man just can't allow myself to be open with anyone that's running into what me I deal with. Yeah, quite more, yeah, it's more spiritual, non-religious. It's more spiritual than just the physical aspect of what everybody I do. Anciency. Yeah, man. That's how the truth lies. No lying of the modern day technology.
thereupon operate as when the tribal government shall cease to exist, the principal chief last elected by said tribe shall execute, under his hand and the seal of the nation, and deliver to each allottee a deed conveying to him all the right, title, and interest of the said nation and the members thereof in and to the lands so allotted to him, and the Secretary of the Interior shall approve such deed, and the same shall thereupon operate as relinquishment of the right, title, and interest of the United States in 13. A supplemental agreement was made with the Seminoles on October 7, 1899, ratified on June 2, 1900, 31 Stat at L. 250, Chapter 610, which provided for the enrollment of children born to Seminole citizens to and including December 31, 1899, and all Seminole citizens then living, and also that if any member of the tribe should die after that date, the lands, money, and other property to which he would be entitled if living, should descend to his heirs. 14. The Act of March 3, 1903, Chapter 994, Section 8, 32 Stat at L. 982, 1008, contained the following provisions as to the duration of the tribal government, the execution, delivery, and recording of deeds and the inalienability of homesteads. 15. Sec. 8. That the tribal government of the Seminole Nation shall not continue longer than March 4, 1906, provided that the Secretary of the Interior shall at the proper time furnish the principal chief with blank deeds necessary for all conveyances mentioned in the agreement with the Seminole Nation, contained in the Act of July 1, 1898, 30.
This is where you see the public law. The usurpation of one's and one's property, because them talk about allotted land that was abandoned. Yeah, them boy, you know, easy. You know. You think I could just abandon my place like that? Una have to give me one of them kind of war the way una have to literally push me out of my place. And then una put it on record and say, oh, it was empty, it's abandoned. And them kind of thing that Babylon deal with, boya. Because Babylon not come from boya. A spoiled Babylon, a spoiled our heaven round here, you know, people. Look around, man. All when you're hungry, you can just take a walk, you see all the neighbor fruit tree, and say, I can't get 2 mango or 2 this or 2 that, and neighbor not tell you no. Worse if you live in the rural area, country, you can't hungry. This is why you see the man them build up city and I separate we from nature. And I give them Baal. Them I give them Moloch. Them I give them Baphomet. And them spoil we youth them. Them have we youth them I drink blood, I bathe in a blood and I go on like say boy, them a clown. Them have we youth them I run down them 6 and 7 books of Babylonian Moses. And I go on with beer, hocus pocus, and spoil themselves, and spoil the area. And them things you go on. Them don't know about the inherent power that lie within them, which is truth. Them don't know nothing about it. Babylon turn off that within I and I people. So when I and I people see truth, them mock it, them laugh at it, them ridicule it, them ostracize it, them deny it. Because Babylon structure my people that way. Babylon socially engineer my people that way. Babylon create all kind of experiment with my people. And my people still, you know, I said them, you know, love Babylon. Them I said them want money. Them I said them want credit. That's one man brag say him have 3 trillion credit and give us someone have 30 million credit now. I still want you to pay. And now tell you say to pay is just a transfer of property. That's all it is. It's a paper you agree and you transfer it. You get it? Can pass it to you. You acknowledge it, accept it, endorse it, and return it. And then balance and zero them account. Them know all the mechanics. We not supposed to. You know what I mean? Go on like we are guru. We already have a plethora of gurus. And we salute with geniuses, we salute with gurus, but what I said, want to high people we can't reach them kind of woo wah level there. I have in there for show them the basics. And this is what we are doing. So excuse me. Excuse I.
30 Stat at L. 567, Chapter 542, and said principal chief shall execute and deliver said deeds to the Indian allottees, as required by said act, and the deeds for allotment, when duly executed and approved, shall be recorded in the office of the Dawes Commission prior to delivery, and without expense to the allottee, until further legislation by Congress, and such records shall have like effect as other public records. Provided further, that the homestead referred to in said act shall be inalienable during the lifetime of the allottee, not exceeding 21 years from the date of the deed for the allotment.
Interesting. You hear what I'm talking about, brethren. My people. You have to take silent judicial notice of the power of the public record. Again, my people. Take silent judicial notice of the importance and the power of the public record, not the court record. Pay attention. Yeah. This is why me I tell you, say, when I go in a court, you know, yeah, the ancestral energy director if I perform, and I did. Yeah, and I have an honorable judge, resident magistrate, judge, honorable. So I'm show respect to them man there. Only because them man they acknowledge and show I that respect. And when them man they acknowledge I and reverence within our presence. And at the very same man say psych, because him under pressure. And I know that. And I rather him put me through psych and I can handle that more than them kill him. Because I'm showing a big, judge where them destroy. So I man have to show honor to the chief judge. Where reverence theme court within our presence. I do them thing there in the people. And when I do them thing, then I have Jatiba as a living witness where they in our court. I never have no grow up. People afraid of me. You have all Rasta when them see how me a move and thing. Rasta say me ask me I must CIA. That's some bubble I say, But they are Britain and me and a Rasta for catch up. That's when I look me have all me and around the Rasta neck. I say, oh yeah, talk so much and you know so me have to break it. You know what I mean?
A separate deed shall be issued for said homestead.
Yeah, man. Rasta say, oh, that man there must see. I mean, I said, John, no, there's a lack of knowledge, cause when all you fear say, teach me some things, make me know and learn. You know what I mean? Because you don't have certain knowledge, you start say, boy, I see me a CIA, where should I be a CIA? That would be interesting, because it would be more exciting for me. So when you come with truth, and you don't come like a fancy this and a fancy that out of some fancy secret society, then, ones and ones will totally misunderstand you. And that is okay. But ones have to stay resolute in that pursuit. A truth. Yeah, man.
Homestead, and during the time the same is held by the allottee, it shall not be liable for any debt contracted by the owner thereof. The restriction upon the alienation of homestead lands applied as well to the freedmen as to the other allottees, but it was removed, with respect to the freedmen, by the Act of May 27, 1908, Chapter 199, 35 Statute L. 312. This statute in fixing the status, after 60 days from the date of the Act, of the lands of allottees of the 5 civilized tribes, theretofore or thereafter allotted, provided, all lands, include.
Man, I have to investigate the 5 civilized tribes there, because I hear them say them remove it from all other allottees. That means there are some common people who can't read and write and don't know what go and get left out, And I know say a lot of these kind of chieftain and these kind of people we have met, them are some of the Moors that we used to war with from that time. Some of them Moors, them come structure governmental this and governmental that, and we never played. But our people couldn't continue with the bloodshed because we never mind it. Because we are give it to them. But what them use for conquer we, them just grab a woman them. So them conquer we and start breed up a woman them. And create a rotted, set of ones where we get confused because we are say, oh Lord man, no mama pick me that man, we can't match that. You know what I mean? And them thing and it's still going on now. Them come mix with us and spoil us and take away everything from us. And I give it for them God. You get me? I give it for them fallen angel them. You get me? Them give it everything where belong to Babylon. For them whole Babylonian thing. And of our people, lost at sea out there, drifting. Yeah, man. However, again, it will fool some people sometimes, but not all the people. And if one righteous man in our city, then the city turn up track with only one righteous man. One. We don't need even 100. And for one, we need one righteous man. And right now, we have a plethora of them. So make we give thanks. Pay attention to them information here. Mainlanders. Pay attention, man. Remember, me not bright like Unu, you know. Me not astute like Unu, you know. You understand? Or we are the dummy, you know. Or we are what them call the newbie, you know. The neophyte, you know. The fools, you know. Or we that, you know. So Unu fi take up them kind of monthly and stop sell out the thing, you know. Stop sell out the thing, aya. Find out who are these freedmen. And now them get them freedman status, yeah. Over the regular ones them where the freedman them come see. Make we ask some question, man. Make we investigate, man. Make we apply ourselves on this level, man, and start going with the Mickey Mouse thing out there for commercial profit and gain. You write all kind of book and all kind of just a commercial thing. That's why I'm not ramp with you know. That's why I know I can't deal with a man like me, because live wire I not deal with. It's like handling fire. When I not gonna deal with a man like me, when I better correct on yourself, when I better leave the crate at the door. When I not come deal with me, I'm telling you. When I not deal with a man such as I, move with caution. Be careful. Be very careful. Because one thing for a man have him hand out, he cannot be bought or sold. I want to know my fire when me a burn a long time, from a taller time. It's a perpetual fire. We burn on the money, God, because we can exist higher than that. We burn Juno money. Do the research, people. Higher level, new era, new faculty of thinking, people. We are non-Africans here. Yeah, man. We are the true Americans here. This is who we are. This is who we are, and this is a truth what the world do not want to expose to you, my local people. Them I want to know it in my people. If my Jamaican people ever say, all right, me religious, me a Moors, me a Ray, but you know what? You see what the Nestorian king I say, that we are saying no. With all the way we are deal with, but we are American first, like the Nestorian, and we are say Ahuuah, like the Nestorian, and people down to the bauxite industry are gonna cease, have to. And now the people know who and what they are, and they are now unified, and we are say enough fight. Where is our inheritance? Where is our hereditament? Where is our birthright? Why are our natural resources going away from this land to some foreign land to develop their foreign society? Why is that? Or we not ask them question there. It's because you're out of place, my people. It's because you claim a foreign land and abandon your estate. We are the true heirs of this estate known as America. This continent, our place, always been and always will be. So the Canaanite, with for them Canaanite God, and them Byzantine, and them Byzantine God, and all of them kings, and all of them Babylonian, you know, old Roman, and all of these people over there. For them time I come, God truth are gonna manifest itself and stand up in a glory naturally. And truth now wear clothes. Truth manifest itself naked. Truth now want a fanciness. You get me? Truth now want to worship. Truth is just is. Yeah, man. And if the whole world believe a lie, then it's still a lie. And if the whole world reject the truth, then it still remains the truth. It can't change. It remains the same truth. And that's our foundation. Anyway, that. Salute people. Boy, more time we have energy away. Not normal, my people.
including homesteads, of said allottees enrolled as intermarried whites, as freedmen, and as mixed-blood Indians having less than half Indian blood, including minors, shall be free from all restrictions. The present bill was filed on July 23, 1908, and the conveyances it assails were executed before this provision of the Act of 1908 became operative. Previous conveyance were not validated by the statute, but on the contrary, it declared any attempted alienation or encumbrance of allotted lands, prior to the removal of restrictions, to be void. Section 5, ID 313. It follows that the instruments described in the bill, in so far as they may have purported to convey homestead lands, were executed in violation of law, and the government was entitled to have them set aside. 16. The surplus lands were embraced in the general restriction contained in the Agreement of December 16, 1897, ratified by the Act of July 1, 1898, that all contracts for sale, disposition, or encumbrance of any part of any allotment made prior to date of patent shall be void. Apart from the provisions as to leases, this was the only...
Pay attention to the time frame, 1800s, 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 1900, coming down. Pay attention. Yeah, man, it's right here. All of them things here occur. Right here. Right in this location, my people.
Only restriction upon the alienation of surplus lands imposed by that agreement, and no further restriction applicable to the freedmen allottees, was placed upon such lands by subsequent statute. 17. The situation with respect to the Seminole allotments may be briefly stated. The commissioners to the 5 civilized tribes found little difficulty in preparing the rolls of the Seminoles, or in making the allotments. The enrollment following the ratification of the Agreement of 1897 was begun in July 1898, and was finished in August of that year. The rolls containing the additional names, provision for which was made by the Supplemental Agreement of 1899, were forwarded to the Department in December 1900, and were approved by the Secretary of the Interior on April 2, 1901. Reports of Commission to 5 Civilized Tribes, 1900, page 12, 1901, page 30. In June 1901, the Commission undertook the making of allotments, and this was practically completed at an early date. In their report for 1903, pp. 36. 37, the Commissioners said, the last annual report of the Commission showed the completion of allotment in the Seminole Nation, save as to the recording of a small number of allotments, and the issuance of certificates therefor, which was finished early in the past year. Subsequently, there were additional allotments to afterborn children, in accordance with the Act of March 3, 1905. 33.
So you see where the certificate of title and the certification of title are derived from. This is why we have to look beyond what them just bring forward, because I know say if we have a law now, which is public law now, it have to come from a law that was before. So when you see all of Jamaica Constitution, 1962 Jamaica Constitution was only an amendment of the 1948 British Nationality Act. The British Nationality Act was amended in 1962 to give Jamaica some kind of independence. Aye, people. You understand? If you were independent, which is totally autonomous, 2 different words, then you would need a head of state. This is why we know that we are what is considered prisoners of war, because the head of state is a governor general who have control over the military with the big guns, who have to keep the slave them in check. This is why when me address my document is to the Governor General's office, to the Secretary of the United States, and to the Templar Church, which is the crown. Not no queen and no king and them monarchy, my people. Don't be fooled with them kind of mess there. Templar Church of the Crown, a foreign thing.
33 Statute L. 1071, Chapter 1479. As already noted, the allottees were to receive their deeds on the expiration of the tribal government, which, by the Act of 1903, was not to continue longer than March 4, 1906. By joint resolution of March 2, 1906, Congress provided for the continuance of the tribal existence and present tribal governments of the 5 civilized tribes in full force and effect for all purposes under existing laws, until all the property of the tribes should be distributed, 34 Statute L. 822, and by the Act of April 26, 1906, they were continued, until otherwise provided by law. Section 28, 34 Statute L. 137, 148, Chapter 1876. While the duration of the tribal government was thus extended, the last mentioned statute expressly authorized the principal chief of the Seminoles meanwhile, that is, before its termination, to execute deeds to allottees. Section 6, ID 139. These deeds, however, had not been delivered at the time of the conveyances in question. None of the lands, says the bill, had been patented to individuals, and they were not lands of heirs of allottees. 18. It is urged that the time for the issuance of patents was fixed as the 4th of March, 1906, and that in law they will be deemed to have been delivered on that date, or within a reasonable time thereafter. That although provision was made for the continuance of the tribal government, there was likewise authority for the delivery of the deeds prior to its termination. The contention that the restriction was thus removed cannot be sustained. The agreement of 1897 did not fix a definite time for the termination of the tribal government, and while the Act of 1903 set a limit to its existence, Congress was competent to extend it. This was done, and the mere authorization of the execution of patents before the tribal government ceased to exist cannot be regarded as a repeal of the explicit provision that contracts for the sale or encumbrance of the allotted lands prior to the date of patent should be void. The one did not override the other, they could stand together. 19. But in 1904, after the allotments to the Seminoles had been made, the restrictions upon the alienation by adult allottees of the 5 civilized tribes, who were not of Indian blood, of lands other than homesteads, were removed. The provision was as follows: Act of April 21, 1904, Chapter 1402, 33 Statute L. 189, 204. 20. And all the restrictions upon the alienation of lands of all allottees of either of the 5 civilized tribes of Indians who are not of Indian blood, except minors, are, except as to homesteads, hereby removed, and all restrictions upon the alienation of all other allottees of said tribes, except minors, and except as to homesteads, may, with the approval of the Secretary of the Interior, be removed under such rules and regulations as the Secretary of the Interior may prescribe, upon application to the United States Indian Agent at the Union Agency in charge of the 5 civilized tribes, if said agent is satisfied, upon a full investigation of each individual case, that such removal of restrictions is for the best interest of said allottee. The finding of the United States Indian Agent and the approval of the Secretary of the Interior shall be in writing, and shall be recorded in the same manner as patents for lands are recorded. 21. This statute undoubtedly applied to allottees of the Seminole Nation, as one of the 5 civilized tribes, and the enrolled freedmen of that tribe, according to the classification of the Commission in making the rolls, fell within the description of allottees not of Indian blood. The freedmen were persons of African descent, embracing former slaves and their descendants, who had been admitted to the rights of native citizens under the Treaty of 1866. Report of Dawes Commission, 1898, pp. 11, 13. While the law did not prescribe that a separate roll of freedmen should be made in the case of the Seminoles, the Commission in fact made one. As to this they said in their report for 1898, page 13, referring to the Seminoles, indeed, it is essentially a nation of full bloods, save as to its colored citizens, who, under treaty provision, are on an equal footing with the citizens by blood. About 1/3 of the citizens of the Seminole Nation are freedmen, and while the law does not specifically require a separate roll of each of these classes, the Commission's data will enable it to so separate them. Accordingly, the freedmen in the rolls of the Seminoles, upon which the allotments were based, appear as a class distinct from the citizens by blood. Final rolls of citizens and freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes, pp. 615, 627, and the Commissioner to the 5 civilized tribes in his report for 1908, page 7, in stating the total number of the enrolled Seminole. This statute undoubtedly applied to allottees of the Seminole Nation as one of the 5 civilized. 22. These adult grantors stood in precisely the same position after the Act of 1904, as though they had received their allotments without any restriction upon their these adult grant 22. This statute undoubtedly applied to allottees of the Seminole Nation as one of the 5 civilized tribes, and the enrolled freedmen of that tribe, according to the classification of the Commission in making the rolls, fell within the description of allottees not of Indian blood. The freedmen were persons of African descent, embracing former slaves and their descendants, who had been admitted to the rights of native citizens under the Treaty of 1866.
Interesting. The freed, not free man, freed man. Freedmen were persons of African descent. Who are these people? All right, embracing former slaves and their descendants who had been admitted to the rights of native citizens under the Treaty of 1866. We have to go look up that treaty there. Boy, people, we kind of busy and miss it, you know. So this is why I made a fair replay to see if I hear properly. This is why I want my mainlander them realize the usurpation and not just around the island, my people. Them totally ravish Uno on the mainland, but them go on a whole heap of carrot, and some people get candy. Pay attention here. Who are the Pan-Africans here? And this document has a what? 1898, 1866. Mainlanders. Yeah, man, we have to stop bicker amongst each other. We truly have to stop that. And remember, you know, Babylon did already set it, you know, and said, now make them people unite, you know. Do not let them people unite. Do everything, you know, in the power to keep these people at each other. And we play right into that. We have some elite people where just where them are do, and when we call them out, oh gosh, we have problem. We're very own people. I say, hey, you can't talk about these people. When we are say, who are they? Them demonstrate so them free. Them are show you anything at all. When you have the truth right in front and you choose to reject it, because you look fanciness. Here we are look on a document where I show you say, watch ya. You have some people where is presumed to be African descent, but come take, you know, claim over another group of people's area and I make treaty and deals no different from what the Maroons have done on this island. It's a pattern, my people. Pay attention.
1866. This statute undoubtedly applied to allottees of the Seminole Nation as one of the 5 civilized tribes, and the enrolled freedmen of that tribe, according to the classification of the Commission in making the rolls, fell within the description of allottees not of Indian blood. The freedmen were persons of African descent, embracing former slaves and their descendants, who had been admitted to the rights of native citizens under the Treaty of 1866. Report of Dawes Commission, 1898, pp. 11-13. While the law did not prescribe.
This is how the white foreign man and all different kind of foreign people use the 18 AHUuahkhuu, the 1866 AHUuahkhuu. I'm quite sure them are try to say the Civil Rights Act, you know. Well, the Civil Rights Act come forward them time here, but them must say 18, they must talk about the treaty, not an act, the Treaty of 1866. So we have to be specific. So we won't get ahead of ourselves, but I hope the mainlander them choose to scrutinize this instrument, this legal instrument. Yeah, man.
Prescribed that a separate roll of freedmen should be made in the case of the Seminoles. The Commission in fact made one. As to this they said in their report for 1898, page 13, referring to the Seminoles, indeed, it is essentially a nation of full bloods, save as to its colored citizens, who, under treaty provision, are on an equal footing with the citizens by blood. About 1/3 of the citizens of the Seminole Nation are freedmen, and while the law does not specifically require a separate roll of each of these classes, the Commission's data will enable it to so separate them. Accordingly, the freedmen in the roll.
1/3 of the people are freedmen, so you know, see the handful of foreign ones will look like us, will come mix with us. The ones that will come with them Moorish knowledge, them Moorish governmental construct, them did a govern around Europe from 720 to 1492 when they were housed, when they were put out. You understand? Not different from the Jewish people. Let's pay attention, people. Dawes roll.
Rolls of the Seminoles, upon which the allotments were based, appear as a class distinct from the citizens by blood. Final rolls of citizens and freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes, pp. 615, 627. And the Commissioner to the 5 civilized tribes in his report for 1908, page 7, in
Salute, sis. Gratitude, sis. Choctaw and Chickasaw Nation. Very interesting. Gratitude, sis. So yeah, see which part the infiltration on the mainland occurred. So you have a group of freedmen who are on a Seminole, and if we are talking about the Seminole Indian and then a 1866 treaty where the sister show, I haven't even clicked on it to see it and look on it. But this not talk about a Seminole Indian. It talk about Choctaw and Chickasaw Nation. So people have to scrutinize them kind of thing and say, what go on? How them people here, or how them group of people here within this organized group of people. It's like the yen kun picky but would have said them a nanny maroon. But them not gonna get nowhere. Because them a look on it from one prospect or one aspect. And then them just align themselves with the banker, Steve Curry. And say, all right, we are maroon straight across the board. When before the nanny maroon, they just say them original, them indigenous. You know what I mean? Yen kun picky about the next aboriginal group where they're around here, that'll be the Paratee people. Around St. Elizabeth, them side, them people are enough up. And we same way. But when the foreign Moors them will come here with Spain, fit in your community and breed up some of your women and start with for them thing, it look attractive. And them kind of truth here there, you know, where some man are going at some book and I follow where some white man or some foreign man are write from for them foreign perspective, when it is easy for us to even look on their own narrative and deduce the truth from them very own lies. It's easy to deduce the truth. Why? Because our bloodline, we can resonate with what we can resonate with. And the things them were alien to, we're gonna always have a question and say where that come from, it not originate in our thing. This is why we light fire upon a religion and on a religious system. Yeah, man. I don't like them energy, you know. It's ancient and ancestral, and I can't predict it. That's why I'm afraid of it.
Stating that
I'm better be afraid.
the total number of the enrolled Seminoles, with the degree of blood of each, gives the number of the citizens of full blood and of mixed blood, 3/4 or more, 1/2 to 3/4, and less than 1/2 blood, and then the number of the enrolled freedmen as a separate group. The bill does not allege that the allottees in question had any Indian blood, but describes them simply as freedmen members of said tribe, and in the specifications of the conveyances which appear in the record the grantors are named as Seminole freedmen whose names are on the freedman roll.
Usurpation at its finest. Again, usurpation at its finest. This is how the foreign imposters come and usurp the original people's place. Why? Because remember, you know, even now, we still not read and write on certain level. Even now, we have foreign oppressors in our place that take our land. Literally just take it. Them don't even have to ask them more questions, them just take what they want. And when a community say, hey, we're not in it, them just use a politician as them front, and the politician use the gangster as them pawns. I hear about all kind of thing going on in a certain community. All of a sudden, certain community get violent. All of a sudden, all kind of things are going on in a certain community. Why? Because it is socially engineered by the hidden hands. This is why criminality is like this. Yeah, now you blame the common youth them, so it stay, but how it start? Who orchestrate it? Who engineer it? Who are the true culprits?
Roll. The import of the allegation, then, is that these grantors were not of Indian blood, and so far as they were adults, they came within the provision of the Act of 1904, removing restrictions upon the alienation of surplus lands. 22. These adult grantors stood in precisely the same position after the Act of 1904, as though they had received their allotments without any restriction upon their right to alienate the interest thus acquired. It is insisted, however, that this interest was not of such a character as to be susceptible of transfer. This is not a tenable proposition. Stress is laid upon the provision in the Agreement of 1897 that each allottee should have the sole right of occupancy of the land so allotted to him. But it is not to be supposed that by this form of words Congress intended in the case of the Seminoles to provide that, by virtue of the allotment, the member of the tribe should receive an interest of a different nature from that received by allottees of other tribes.
People, you have to take into consideration when them people are in the United States Corporation I talk about these things. Just always remember the Libra Code 100 with Abraham Lincoln, when he might tell you about the confiscation. Him say a victorious government confiscate the land and property of the enemy. And here we are look upon prima facie evidence of these facts and look at the time frame. And I show a lot of information and go through, we can't just come out and array with ourselves. It would be inappropriate. But when we catalog certain information and I want to step back and look at the picture or the story as is, then it's obvious to say, so we paint a beautiful picture for the people. It might be a bit, in parable, but It's there. It's there. The ones that have to open on the eyes and get over on a little, feelings and stop allowing the ego for doing an obstacle and make truth rain. Simple thing. No distraction. And now can sway with. Yeah, man. On cheerleaders and on dancing girls and on pom pom and now can distract with. Sorry.
Tribes. The lands were allotted to the members of the tribe in severalty, so that each should have his distinct portion. The allotments constituted their respective shares of the tribal property, set apart to them as such, and while the execution of the deeds was deferred, each had meanwhile a complete equitable interest in the land allotted to him. The nature of the allottee's interest is sufficiently shown by other provisions of the Agreement of 1897, as ratified by Congress and by statutes in pari materia. In the agreement, it was provided that any allottee might lease his allotment on certain conditions. With respect to the town site of Wewoka, which was to be controlled and disposed of according to the provisions of the Act of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of April 23, 1897, it was provided that, on extinguishment of the tribal government, deeds should issue to owners of lots, as in the case of allottees. The interests of the allottee was a descendable interest. By the Supplemental Agreement of 1900, in the case of the death of a member of the tribe after December 31, 1899, the lands to which he would be entitled if living were to descend to his heirs.
I wanna have no kind of narrative talking about heirs and heirship. All we hear about rotted some public trusts and beneficiaries and trustees, and we not talk about the heirs of this estate, the inheritors of this estate, which are descendant, left to us in perpetuity until it was interrupted and usurped by the foreigners, specifically the Moors started first. These Hamadinians, these Muslims, them look like us. And when them get overthrown by the other set of foreigners over there, around here them come for refuge and start the war. This is why once could have said the carriage them for them women speak a different language because them women are our, how much our ancestors them boy wipe out them foreign people to come get a foothold. How much of our people, if they are them truly know these stories and have to get the notion of talking about Africa and choose to reclaim on a birthright and choose to reclaim on a inheritance, choose to reclaim on a hereditament. It's a consanguine thing, people. It's a bloodline thing. And an imagery, like what them have said. Them are deceived way. It has been that way. And now we have to just open my eye, man, and come out of our little ego and our little idiot feelings and stop going like you know more than the next man when you just learn. You can't say man a step from some rotted level for come down here so for showing us some things and play ignorance. How long do you think man I got there deal with it this way? It's judgment for all I know what choose to ignore the truth. It's absolute judgment. Oh no want gift? No, it's judgment.
Heirs. Section 5 of the Act of April 26, 1906, relating to patents or deeds to allottees in any of the 5 civilized tribes to be thereafter issued, thus including those to be issued to the Seminole allottees, provided that if any such allottee should die before the deed became effective, the title to the lands described therein should inure to and vest in his heirs, and further, that, in case any allottee shall die after restrictions have been removed, his property shall descend to his heirs or his lawful assigns, as if the patent or deed had issued to the allottee during his life. 30.
Interesting enough, people. That's why I'm on my mainlanders catch this thing. But I get on feelings and go on like say, Indians said the American Civil War in 1861 is a significant, well, I should say a significant number of indigenous peoples of the Americas has been relocated from the southeastern United States to Indian Territory, west of the Mississippi. So you say a foreign man come and push these people, you know. I tell the people them, so when you see the story about the trails of tears and people think there are some foreign Mongolian yellow skin stringy hair people. No, it was us, them are misplaced. I'm on going out Cincinnati, Ohio, and when you see the people them will look like I around there. Yo, I'm shocked when me there Cincinnati and see so much black people in a them location, them shock. Yeah, man. And when you hear some of them, yo, me is a man when I there America, me have all my moccasin in people. Me have my beaver hat and them things. Yo, them time them don't even know about Indian like how me know I as Indian now. Me I telling you that. Me have to move to the Americas, me end up I get all kind of things, people. Me used to have my moccasin where that when you put on that, it comfortable like wow. You see all my beaver hat. In a winter, when I put on that, me have to take off that, man. Me head hot. All of them things are first hand knowledge of experience on the mainland. And a whole heap of places with our name. Okeechobee with river and them place there. When I hear about a place like Jacksonville, Florida, what was the original name before the military soldier man call it that? And them things our people have to revive on the mainland. And let go the dissension and the disagreeable behavior. We have to come together. We must. Yeah. Salute. Yeah, man, we have to come together, man. But then again, a free will exercise, and we're not there to impose our will upon no one. We just shine light and information to make some guy know. So, watch your honorable clarification. Pay attention.
34 Statute L. 138, Chapter 1876, and Section 19 of that Act contained a proviso declaring that conveyances theretofore made by members of any of the 5 civilized tribes subsequent to the selection of allotment and subsequent to removal.
I feel it's my point of view. Says so the 5 civilized tribes has been infiltrated by foreign Moors who come in here and say, boy, them are all of these things, and you serve the people in place and sell out, basically. But that's just my opinion. Because I know about the Haudenosaunee. That's why I talk about the great law of peace. Because any boy will come here have to take it from my people that was here before. And then probably rebrand it. You get me? And wipe out our ancestors, we have them kind of knowledge here and know them kind of truth here. Them destroy them mind, them kill out with people. Them. It's genocide. It's genocide was still unspoken. Why? Because the very people that create and commit this genocide is still here, perpetuating them genocidal act. Them just modernize it. Them just rebrand it. And at their helm is their Federal Reserve System with them commercial business. Lightning. No like it, Or not get it. We don't like it or not. Don't better take it. New era. New era.
Removal of restriction, where patents thereafter issue, shall not be deemed or held invalid solely because said conveyances were made prior to issuance and recording or delivery of patent or deed. 23. The inalienability of the allotted lands was not due to the quality of the interest of the allottee, but to the express restriction imposed. Their equitable interest was one which, in the absence of restriction, they could convey. Doe ex Dem. Mann v. Wilson, 23 Howe. 457, 16L, ed 584. Cruz v. Bircham, 1 Black, 352, 17L, ed 91. Barney v. Dolph, 97 U. S. 652, 656, 24L, ED 1063, 1064. Jones v. Meehan, 175 U.S. 1, 15 to 18, 44L, ED 49, 55 to 57, 20 sub. CT Representative 1, Godfrey v. Iowa Land and Trust Company 21 Oakla 293, 95 Pacific 792, Mullen v. United States, decided April 15, 1912. 224 U.S. 448, 56L, ED, 32 sub. CT Representative 4.
Boy, it's safe to say after April 15, 1912, when them decimate the tribal government, that's when in 1913 them institute the Department of Labor for appease what go on with the people and what they mash up, which is the black people of America. You get me? And by 1917, the bank of them or some other Babylon people say, we're not in it, and them create them Federal Reserve System. And from there, that Federal Reserve Banking Act was actually the Trading with the Enemies Act, and that act was amended in 1933 to the Banking Emergency Act, which was public law, where remove all kind of substantive things and use paper now for govern. Total fictional process, legal process. Totally abandoned law. And them thing you go on. Yeah, man. So our breakdown is just a little bit different from what we bring on the surface. You don't go through our life, look through things, we don't just look on things. Forgive us.
494, and hence, on the removal of the restrictions upon alienation, the adult allottees not of Indian blood were entitled to convey their surplus lands. So far as the bill assails such conveyances, it is without equity. 24. As
Honorable Ameri-Indian, you have to forgive me. This is why I forgot, boy, I forgot open up my life. I really have to structure back a WhatsApp chat, irrespective of what I go on and how this thing is. Because I don't want to interact with the item, I just know on a little YouTube, Monica, on a little YouTube, angle. You understand? And the ones them we are going to come over here, so some unique ones, and anybody that can choose to even interact with a man such as I, even when I does virtual. You have man who are terrified to even try to interact with I. Them literally terrified. It's like them, them wet them pants if all a man like I roar 2 times. I don't experience them thing out here. So I know so when someone's, irrespective of the level and the comprehension, reach out and even make the effort to interact with I know so you can't unique, you can't just be regular. You cannot just be ordinary people. So me have to go provide a place now for make the ones them know. Say, yeah, so we can link up and chat up and we get to know ones and ones. We go up and even some of them video type that so we can look on someone's spirit naturally. Not just word of mouth. You understand? Some I man have to make that effort there, but boy, I not necessarily want to open up myself because I'm not pretty. And I'm not pretty the ones them are running, you know what I mean? Again, the item have to forgive I. Out there, Joel Jaguar say. Yeah, man. Out there, my lord. Same way. Same way I am.
As all the conveyances made to the appellants are not particularly described in the printed record before this court, it is impossible to specify those which were lawful and those which were obnoxious to the statute. We are of opinion, 1, that the bill should be sustained so far as it relates to conveyances of homestead lands, 2, that it should also be sustained to the extent that it is directed against conveyances of surplus lands made by freedmen allottees who were minors, and thus excepted from the provision of the Act of April 21, 1904, and those made by adult allottees prior to that date, and 3, that so far as the bill relates to conveyances of surplus lands made by adult freedmen allottees, Subsequent to April 21, 1904, it should be dismissed. 25. The judgment of the Circuit Court of Appeals will therefore be affirmed, with the modification that the cause shall proceed in conformity with this opinion. 26. It is so ordered. CC transformed by Public Resource Org.
Complete gratitude. Yeah. Complete gratitude. Now, what the item have to say out there? Because we are doing our part and not share the basic information. We're not getting on about the business. We are sure what is there on the public record. And without the public record, no one couldn't scrutinize them kind of instrument, yeah. And the very court record, when it reaches a certain level, it has to become public, where it become public law. At them energy I will bring forward and people miss it, you know, people. Some man a run down some foreign guy where I live in them head. Them not have access to the real world. Them literally I live in them head, them in a virtual reality, and that's their existence. Them become a part of the matrix unknowingly. So we have to make sure our people stay grounded. It's a new era, our people. Correct the narrative. Correct the narrative. Don't let them fool you. And don't even try to let them school you. We are autodidactic. Some will say autodidactic. Yeah, man, let we choose to apply ourselves so we can aid our brothers and sisters out there. Free will exercise. To God be the glory. To the Most High Creator of nature be the glory. We give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. Yeah, we do give thanks and praise. Yeah, to the breath of life, I people. Perfect love. Salute. Beat them. Beat them. Beat them. Bad. Bust up them head. Bust up them head. Yeah, man. Same way, my king. Same way, my king. My respect with honor. I'm Mary Indian. Yeah, man. Salute Joel Jaguasi. Yeah, man. Out there. Darian Clary. Out there. Shorter than Nicholas Johnson. Honor. Burn them. Judge them. Run them. Shun them. Bust them head. Beat them back. Inna them head. Inna them head. Judgment. Judgment.